Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another Fragrance Friday. Today I am going to film my April perfume tray video, and first I'm going to go through all of the fragrances on my tray from the month of March and let you know which one I will be decluttering. I've gotten to a point, I think, in my collection with decluttering where it's harder and harder for me to declutter what I have left in my fragrance collection. So I will probably be putting 10 fragrances on my tray going forward versus 12, and I'm gonna kind of mix it up in terms of which fragrances I choose, and I'll let you know a little bit more about that when I go through my April choices. But yeah, I'm gonna get started with going through what is on my tray. The one fragrance I'm going to declutter, I would love to know if you can guess which one it is. Please go ahead and leave that in the comments below. And yeah, I'm going to get started and kind of tell you a little bit about why I am keeping the other fragrances that I have on this tray. So the first fragrance I have here is Byredo's Blanche, and I've decided to keep this one. This is a beautiful kind of clean laundry scent that I really enjoy, and it's very uplifting. It's something I like to wear when I'm kind of working from home or just bumming around the house. It's just a really nice fragrance. So this one I've decided to keep. The next one is my Pure Poison from Dior. This is a beautiful white floral that is heavy on the jasmine, and I really enjoy this in the springtime. And this jasmine does not seem to give me any kind of a headache. It's a really pretty jasmine that I have been really enjoying wearing, and definitely one that I'm going to keep. Next up, I have Valentina Born in Roma. This is the Yellow Dream, and I absolutely loved wearing this. This is definitely one that I enjoy coming into spring, and one that is definitely sticking around. Next up, I've got Maison Francis Kurkdjian 724. This is the fragrance that I have decided to declutter, and it is very similar to my Byredo Blanche. I don't really feel like I need both in my collection, and of the two, I really prefer the Byredo. I feel like it's a little bit softer. This one can be a little screechy on me just because it's got some very heavy kind of citrus notes in it that don't seem to play well with my skin. I do like it a lot, but I just don't love it, so I am going to be letting this one go. My Coco Mademoiselle, this is the intense version, and this is a fragrance that I have kind of gone back and forth quite a few times with. I've had it in and out of my collection in the original version, not in the intense. This is the first bottle I've had of the intense, and I was struggling with it, and I actually had recently gone to a Chanel beauty store that has popped up in the mall near me, and was talking to a sales associate about that, and she said, have I tried layering it with anything? And I said, no, I have not. So she suggested I try layering this with my 1957, which I went ahead and did, and I absolutely loved it together. So I am going to keep this in my collection for now, see how I do with it, and I'm really glad I found a way to wear it that agrees with my skin. It kind of cuts a little bit of the sharpness of this fragrance, and I really enjoy it wearing it that way. Next up, I have my Elie Saab Girl of Now. This is the Shine version. Love this fragrance. Definitely one that is very sweet, but I enjoy the sweetness, especially in the springtime, so I've decided to keep this one. Next up, I've got my Narciso Ambre, and this one has quite a few sort of tropical florals in it, and I feel like it's going to be perfect coming into summer, and it's one that I just can't find myself letting go of, so I've decided to keep it. Next up, I have YSL Libre. This is the OG, and I absolutely love this fragrance. I am probably just meant to have all four of these just because it's a fragrance that I just love so much. I have decided not to declutter any of them, at least not for the time being, so really have been enjoying this and will continue to enjoy it for the spring season. Next up, I have Jasmine Rouge, which is another jasmine scent that I was testing out to see if it agreed with me and was not headache inducing. And I'm happy to report that it is not. And I really have been enjoying wearing it. It's a really beautiful, sweet floral for spring that I am definitely planning to get a lot of use out of in the month of April. Next up from Diptyque, I have L'Ombre de Danzelot. This is a really beautiful kind of fresh blackberry and rose scent that I was thinking about decluttering just because I found it a little bit almost like dry and not as, I guess, juicy as a lot of my other fruity fragrances, but there's something about this that I really enjoy, especially on a hot day when I don't want anything sweet, I don't want anything overly floral, and this is just such a great layering fragrance with a lot of my other fragrances from Diptyque, so I have decided to hold on to it. Next up, I have Flora Selvaggia from the Aqua Allegoria line from Guerlain. This is a really beautiful wildflower scent that is really light, really refreshing, and just really, really pretty for the springtime. I've really been enjoying wearing it, so I've decided to keep. And last up, I have my Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue. This is the original, and I absolutely love this scent on a really hot day. I am going to try out a few other versions of my light blue eventually in the summertime and see how I do with the rest of them and whether this is the one I'm reaching for or maybe some of the flankers, but for now this one is staying. So now switching gears, I have 10 fragrances that I've picked out for the month of April to go on my tray. Of the 10, I have 6 of them that feature the note of rose, and I've decided to kind of play around with some of the fragrances where I have so many that are similar, maybe not all the same, but similar, and decide if there's anything that I can declutter from that bunch. And then I just have a few other fragrances that I haven't been getting a lot of wear out of that I decided to kind of test out for the month of April. So the first fragrance I have picked out, which is a rose fragrance, this is from Narciso Rodriguez, and this is Narciso Rodriguez for her. This is the Musk Noir Rose. So this is a fragrance that's been getting a lot of hype lately, and I kind of got it late last year, so I really didn't get much of a chance to wear it, so I thought I would test it out this month as one of my many rose fragrances. Another rose fragrance in my collection that I decided to put on the tray is Delina La Rosée. I have all 3 of the Delinas. Don't know that I need all 3, but I do love them all for different reasons. So I am definitely testing this one out since this is sort of the freshest, I would say, of the 3 for the springtime. The next 2 fragrances I have for my tray are from Maison Francis Kurkdjian. I've got A La Rose and I've got L'Eau A La Rose. Love both of these fragrances. They're very, very similar, and I don't know that I need both in my collection, but I am going to wear them both, test them out, see how I do, and we'll report back at the end of the month. Next up, I've got from Tom Ford. This is Rose d'Amalfi. This is a fragrance I got last year and did not really get a lot of wear out of it. I do like this rose fragrance, but it is very different from what I had originally thought it was going to be. It is definitely a more sort of sweet rose fragrance, and the rose is less of a really fresh rose and more of almost like a candied rose. It's very, very pretty, but I don't know that it's something that I necessarily need in my collection, so I'm gonna definitely test that out. And then my last rose fragrance is from Diptyque. This is Eau Rose. This is a really beautiful, fresh, clean rose, very similar to A La Rose from Maison Francis Kurkdjian, but even fresher and with other sort of white florals mixed in there with the rose. And I do really enjoy this fragrance, so wanted to kind of test it out against my other rose fragrances. The next fragrance I have for my tray is from Van Cleef & Arpels. This is Bois d'Iris, and this is a really beautiful iris fragrance, but one that I just did not find myself reaching for all that much last year when I got it, but I did get it in the winter time, so I think spring is really the time for this to shine, so I have decided to add that to my tray and see how I do with it. And then an oldie but goodie, I've got Alien from Mugler. This is the OG. This is one that I really enjoyed for many years on and off. I've had it in my collection. However, it is one that I have not found myself reaching for, especially since it has become actually the signature scent of my mother-in-law. So I am careful not to wear this whenever I am around her, which is not that often. So, so it's not really a reason to declutter it, but it is one that kind of reminds me of her. And so I just have not found myself wearing it that much. And it is something I am wanting to test out and see if I still love it enough to keep it. And then my last two fragrances for the month of April, I have Bubble Bath and Coffee Break from the Maison Margiela replica line. I love these fragrances, but I don't find myself reaching for them all that much. I went a little bit replica crazy late last year when there were all kinds of sales going on for the holidays. I bought way too many. They are beautiful scents, but they are not ones that I find myself reaching for all that much. So I do want to test them out, give them a chance, and decide whether or not they will remain in my collection. So that is everything I have selected for the month of April on my fragrance tray. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below, and otherwise, thank you all for watching, and I will see you soon in my next video. Have a great day.